Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brian Hertuck. I'm a Republican candidate for the County Council seat in District 1. I originally grew up in Bedford, Ohio. I'm the youngest of 4 boys. And my mom and dad, both blue-collar workers, my dad for Warner and Swayze for over 50 years, taught us and instilled in us to always be fully engaged in our community, wherever our paths take us. And I have tried to do that during my 53 years of life here as a lifelong resident. There's 3 main reasons that I'm running for this County Council seat. The first, and probably something you all agree with me, is I'm tired and sick and tired of deficits. We deal with deficits at the federal level, we deal with deficits at the state level, and now at the county level. And I have a solution for that. When I was on City Council in Rocky River for over 6 years, I implemented a zero-based budgeting concept. And zero-based budgeting is a very simple concept, but it's very hard for government officials to embrace. Every year, you forget about the last year. Amnesia kicks in, and you force those directors to start from scratch. Like many of you, you live in well-run communities here in the Westshore area. It was no different in Rocky River. But when we implemented zero-based budgeting, we saved money. The second reason that I'm running is because government has just gotten out of control. It's way too big. I'm sure all of you will agree with me. Cuyahoga County alone has over 8,100 full-time employees anticipated for next year. For a county that estimates about 1.4 million residents and a budget of 1.4 million, we are way oversized and we need to reduce the workforce. We need to do it soon. And then the third reason is we have made one bad real estate deal after another in the county. Back rooms, secret meetings. I've been in real estate my whole life. And I plan to bring integrity and accountability to our new charter government. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jim French, and I am a Democratic candidate for Council District 1. I have been a lifelong resident of the county. My wife and I moved into the district in 1973. We lived for about 30 years in Bay Village and now 7 years in Westlake. Why run? About a year ago, when I had an opportunity to serve on the Westlake Charter Review Commission, the mayor of Westlake provided each of us with a copy of the proposed charter. I had a chance to read it. Towards the end of that term, I decided that I thought I had the capacity to do this job. I am an attorney by profession. I believe that the future of our county is going to depend upon what initially goes on in this county council. We are, whoever's elected, going to be the foundation for the council for the future. Initially, there will be ethics reform, there will be campaign finance reform, but more importantly, there is a need for people to believe that the people that are in charge care about their communities rather than care about themselves. I believe that there are management protocols that should be installed in our county that have been sorely lacking. And I believe those protocols will help us to become more efficient, to become more creative, and hopefully to become a better community. I think that's what we all want. We are here because we want a better community. And that is something that I hope to participate in as the candidate for District 1, and I thank you.
My name is Dave Greenspan. I'm running, obviously, for County Council in District 1. I am a Republican candidate. I want to welcome you to Westlake. This is my home as well as Mr. French. And I want to thank the Westshore Tea Party for hosting this event this evening. It's very important that we get all the candidates together so the constituency understands and has an opportunity to look at each of us and look at each of us objectively. I've had an opportunity to speak to various groups throughout the county over the last 6 months since I declared my candidacy. And one of the things that I talk to each of the groups about is what should they look for in selecting a candidate. There are 3 things I focus on: experience, vision, and the ability to have a proven track record of implementing that vision. All right, experience is very important, and there are a number of us up here who have served on the city council before. But one of the things I want to key in on is relevant experience. I'm the only candidate, not only in this district, but in any of the other 10 districts, or even at the county executive level, that has actually been engaged in reforming government. I was involved in the founding city council back in the suburb of Atlanta, the largest city in the country ever to incorporate, a city of nearly 100,000 people, which is almost the size of the district here in District 1. That's important because a lot of what we went through back in Sandy Springs reforming from our county government to municipal government, are some of the same challenges we're going to face here. Having been there and done that, having seen what works and having seen what doesn't work firsthand is very important. Now we talk about vision, and I talk to various groups about vision and what we need to do looking at candidates. Obviously, ethics is the key #1 issue in this county. I proposed an ethics ordinance that has been studied by the County Ethics Commission. I proposed the creation of an independent inspector general to focus on ethics, to root out corruption and fraud in our county government, to work on efficiencies in government, as well as to work on providing cost savings within the county. I see my time is up. I've got a lot more to say. Hopefully, please ask me a lot of questions this evening. But I believe that it's important to focus on relevant experience when it comes to your county council candidate. And that's why I hope that you would support me in this election. Thank you.
There you go.
Good evening. My name is Pete Mattia. I'm a Democrat. I'm 56 years old. I've been a county resident all of my life. My wife Denise and I have been married for 35 years. We have 4 adult children and 4 grandchildren. I am presently a Fairview Park City Councilman. I retired 4 years ago as a delivery driver for UPS, and am proud to say that I am a retired Teamster. My reason for entering this race is entirely self-centered. The future of this county's success will hinge on the success of the future county government. We in District 1 know what needs to happen to make this region prosper. If my kids and grandkids can prosper, then they can stay and raise their families, and I can watch them grow. See, I told you I was self-centered. The present county government has a $1.4 billion budget. They deal with more good and more bad issues than many people of District 1 realize. What seems to get lost in the headlines is the majority of county workers, blue and white collar, who work harder than anyone thinks to make this county a good place to live. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for the Westshore Tea Party pictures for hosting this nice town hall meeting, and thanks to everybody here for taking time out of their schedule to come out and listen to us candidates. My name's Tom Harrison. I'm a Republican candidate for District 1 County Council. I'm 59 years old, resident of North Olmsted, and other than 2 years work transfer in Michigan, I'm a lifelong resident of Cuyahoga County. I have 4 grown children and 7 beautiful grandchildren, and they all live locally here in the Cleveland area. I'm the president of Cleveland Industrial Warehouse Corporation, which is located on the near east side of Cleveland. Our company is in the public warehousing business and specializes in the handling, distribution, and storage of steel, machinery, and general commodities. Prior to Cleveland Industrial Warehouse, I worked for Leaseway Transportation in their warehousing group. In total, I have 40 years of experience in all facets of operating a business. It all begins with relationships with employees, their families, customers, relationships with vendors and suppliers. After that becomes negotiations with all the above, with your employees, with suppliers and vendors. But it boils down to keeping a sharp eye on the present operations and always looking forward to ensure continued sales, marketing, and of course it all boils down to the responsibility of keeping everybody working for you for their family's benefit. And the end result is the profit and loss of the company. Over the 40 years, plus years, I've had a lot of laughs and a very rewarding and satisfying career. So why county government? Well, much like many people here, I was compelled to get involved in our new county government because I was frustrated by ongoing reports of wasteful and irresponsible spending of our tax dollars. I firmly believe...
Thank you, Tom.
Good, thank you.
Okay, we're going to start the questioning. Yeah.
Okay, so our first question, we pulled a name like we did for the start of the introductions. And the first name pulled now that we'll start with is Dave Greenspan. Okay, so the question is, with all the corruption in county government, there's a great deal of mistrust, anger, and frustration among county residents. What specific actions will you take to restore trust in the people that you serve?
Great question. If you remember from my opening comments, I view this ethical issue and the corruption issue as the #1 issue we must address here in Cuyahoga County. Constituents, residents, businesses do not trust county government. We must instill that. We must build on a strong future in which our residents and businesses trust that they will be treated fairly in Cuyahoga County. Now, I declared my candidacy on March 15th. On March 27th, I proposed an actual ethics ordinance that we adopted back in Atlanta and modified it slightly here to fit what I believe would work well in Cuyahoga County. One of the first pieces of legislation that I would bring forward is an actual ethics ordinance. Now, the Ethics Commission for the Transition Advisory Group actually published this ordinance this week. I believe it's a very good start for us moving in the right direction. But this is only an ethics ordinance. We must set the tone as a council, as the leaders of this community for how we expect government to operate, not only among the elected officials, but between the employees, the volunteers, and the appointed officials that represent us at the county level. The other thing that I've done, and this was about 2 months ago, I also proposed a second ordinance. And that ordinance would create an office of an independent inspector general, which I spoke of earlier. This office is specifically charged with working and operating outside of county government, so they're free from input and influence from any county official, in order to prevent and detect fraud and corruption. They are also designed, this ordinance is also designed to be able to work on providing efficiency in government and reduce wasteful spending. These things must be passed immediately before we talk about job creation, before we talk about anything else within government. We have got to stamp out this corruption right now in county government. I believe that the combination of these two ordinances that I presented will put us on the right track and lead us to down the right path. Thank you.
All the way down to Pete. You're up.
We talk about it.
To the right.
So everybody's answering that same question.
If you need us to repeat it, let us know.
Pardon?
If you need us to repeat the question, we can.
No.
All of Dave's ordinances and resolutions have got to be passed by this new form of government. This form of government is going to work much like any city council in any city or suburb of Cleveland or Cuyahoga County. I believe the issue of corruption, and maybe I'm naive, but I truly believe that once this new form of government comes in, that the checks and balances will be in place, the department heads will be more responsible, and I believe that things will straighten themselves out quite quickly.